G'day team, and welcome to Camper Trailer of the Year Awards 2024, sponsored by the power of XTRK. Behind me you'll see the ultimate camper XTRK. What we're going to be doing over the next week is living, sleeping, eating with it, cooking with it, just taking on the four-wheel drive tracks and pushing it to its limits for you to find out whether it is for you. This year is the 30th anniversary of the Ultimate Campers being launched and available here in Australia. They're a very iconic, lightweight and surprisingly spacious camper. It's got a tear of 900 kilos with an ATM of 1600 kilos. So that gives you a payload of 700 kilos. That's a lot of gear to take camping.
The XTRK by Ultimate has 140 litres of fresh water capacity. Now that's jumped over the years. It used to be as low as 90, but now that's a proper week's amount of water for a couple. And in terms of power, it comes standard with a 135 amp hour lithium battery, but this one has had an upgrade to 2. Now all that battery set has to do is power the fridge. That fridge is going to churn somewhere between 2 and 4 amps per hour. So with 270 amp hours of battery storage, you are never running out of power. It was a bit of a surprise to not see any built-in cooking system in this Ultimate, but the more I looked at it, the more it started to make sense. This camper came with an optional shelf that clipped on the outside, and on that you can just put a quick and easy gas cooker, or something fancy like we had in the Jetboil Genesis. One thing Ultimates have struggled for is a space to put a toilet. Now this year we saw a composting toilet tucked away neatly just inside the door. Now I don't think you're going to want to use it inside the camper when set up. Just take it out and put it in a cubicle outside.
Ultimate campers characterise themselves as being fabulous, not fiddly. And we've seen this in the incremental advances that have been made to this camper over the last 5 years in particular, under the guiding hand of David Rogers. Over that period, we've seen the improvements like the electronic opening system, the gas-assisted rear steps. We've seen improvements to the pole receivers to make them easier to put into place. And we've also seen things like the bungee tabs that just make it just that little bit easier to get the tent affixed to the fiberglass body of the camper. And all of these changes have been made to what was already an extremely well-designed camper.
Over the last few years, we've seen Ultimate step up. And they've embraced change. They've embraced innovation. They've embraced some pretty high-tech componentry. This one's absolutely chockers full of good gear, from Bushman fridges to XTRK electronics, and that extreme coating on the outside to stop from scratches and dints from flyaway stones on the highways and the byways. What you've actually got here is you've got something that relies on high-performance engineering and composite materials. That's what gives it that surprisingly lightweight. And it gives it its strength as well. But another factor is your quality control and your quality assurance along the lines of manufacture. And you can be part of this. Ultimate give factory tours. You can turn up and actually see your camper being made at any step along the manufacturing process.
When you see an Ultimate, one of the things that'll stand out to you is how high the chassis sits off the road. And all of that clearance is what you need if you are going properly out back and dropping down into steep riverbanks and off ledges. Now some people look at the fiberglass construction and wonder how sturdy it is. But anyone who's been in fiberglass boat trade knows fiberglass is flexible and easy to patch repair. So if anything, it's a positive to have a strong and durable fiberglass body sitting as high up as it does on the Ultimate. Towing the Ultimate is a breeze. It sits on Cruisemaster's excellent independent trailing arm suspension. When we were bouncing around at Janowan Hills, it never bounced out of a rut or unexpectedly sideways. It towed brilliantly.
If you thought that glamping was reserved for big tents on seaside resorts or at safari parks, look, think again. This thing will look as comfortable in the beach as it will in the desert. So just pick your prime location, settle back on the inner sprung mattress with double toppers, and that's a king bed size. Have a drink on the lounge inside, or move out into the outdoors and enjoy the protection under the 360-degree distinctive awning, which is absolutely excellent. Whether your preference is to stop at one location and move on the following day, or you like to stay put for a period of time, the Ultimate XTRK Desert Pack has definitely got you covered.
What Ultimate did is they brought along their XTRK with that desert pack. The XTRK is their entry level or their base level model. So it doesn't come with all the bells and all the whistles, but it's designed for the camper that has already been camping. You've already got a shed full of gear. You've already got your own cooktop. So you can purchase this camper as a pair of dinks and let the camper grow with you. So when your family grows, your newborn can sleep with you inside that massive king-size bed. As the child grows into a toddler, it can sleep on the lounge. As the child grows, perhaps you'll buy that soft floor spare room that goes underneath the side fold. And now the child can move outside and sleep on a stretcher or a swag, enclosed inside the canvas and PVC wall.
In terms of X factor, the absolute number one is the fact that there's nothing like the iconic looks of the Ultimate camper. You see one on the road and you know what you're looking at, and you know that person has bought a serious camper to take it to some serious places. But also, it's half the price of what I've seen other Ultimates go for. Now admittedly, it doesn't have a few things that we've seen in these higher priced Ultimates. There is no AC, but you don't actually need AC in a camper with such good ventilation as these builds. At $65,000, you're getting that iconic look and that quality build at half the price of some of the models we've seen previously. And to me, that's a standout.
The Ultimate XTRK delivers the same production quality that's lavished on every other Ultimate model in the line. The real difference here is the price tag. At just under $60,000 as judged, it's $60,000 cheaper than the Ultimate Escape that we judged last year on Camper Trailer of the Year. And it's also $10,000 cheaper than the GT360 that we reviewed in 2020. Now, given the global increase in production costs over this period, that's an absolutely amazing achievement on the part of Ultimate. So the Ultimate XTRK doesn't have some of the higher end Red Arc electronic componentry. It doesn't have a stove outside, but it's still got all of the same quality that characterizes Ultimate as a brand. And just because you can't afford or don't want the higher end specs now, that doesn't mean to say that you can't upgrade later. Once you have the XTRK, the choice is yours.
Ultimate have won Camper Trailer of the Year before. The previous winner was a rather over-the-top Escape. It had a retail price of over 125 grand. It even had AC inside a canvas tent. And that was probably its biggest criticism. This year, back to basics, under 60 grand. This is a worthy winner of Camper Trailer of the Year 2024.